everyone. This is Teravarna again, bringing to you Wendy Goldberg from San Francisco, and she has her beautiful studio here with lots and lots of paintings. And I've been meaning to visit her studio for a long time, and she's been with us to one of the Superfine art shows as well. So that's how I met her. And so I'm going to introduce you guys to her, and then have her explain how she does these wonderful work. So Wendy, hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
And
nice
can you introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Wendy, and I just have a studio full of artwork, and I'm not sure if you want me to tell how I do it, but
I'm gonna get to that. So
okay.
yeah, so you do artwork here for a very long time, right?
I've been in the studio for a really long time, and I've been doing artwork for many, many years since, well, I guess since before college, but certainly since college.
Okay, so how long have you practiced art?
So I've practiced art for, I don't know, over 30 years, really, even longer probably, yeah. I mean, I have to do the math, but I've been doing it for a very long time.
So have you been, like, are you self-taught or are you...
No, I mean, you know, in some ways we're all self-taught because as kids we're always doing work and that. But I did go to college and I got my Bachelor of Fine Arts up in at Cornell in upstate New York.
Ithaca.
So yes, in Ithaca.
Okay.
So I did a lot of work there, but then, you know, as time went on, I also had other experiences. I did a couple residencies at a place called Vermont Studio Center, and I went there with no expectations and came up with a whole new body of work. That's pretty much where I think I started doing pastels seriously, which is the bulk of what I've been doing for many years, drawing pastels.
So this is in Vermont?
Vermont Studio Center, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And okay.
Yeah.
And that's where you did your residency, or?
I did two residencies.
Okay.
They're a month each.
Got it.
Yeah. So I did a lot of. I went there not knowing what I wanted to do. I started doing black and white drawings, and then it was so beautiful and colorful there. I got into doing pastels,
especially in the fall, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So what about, so you do pastel, I see, a lot of pastels. I mean, I see you do also oils, right?
I do.
So what's your primary medium is pastel.
Yeah.
But what other mediums do you do? You do oil, do you do acrylic as well, or no?
No, I haven't done much with acrylic. I've kind of stuck with more traditional oils, and I mean, basically when I was in college, I was painting with oils.
Oh, you are?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Okay. So that's where you learn, and then after the residency,
you did a lot
kind
of
of switch to pastel.
And then you do basic drawing and figure drawing and all that stuff there. But I didn't really get into working with pastel till probably when I was in, I think that was about 25 or 30 years ago. So I'm not going to tell you how old I am.
no, that's okay. Don't worry. Yeah.
I've been doing it forever.
We can still figure it out. There are ways.
Do the math.
There are ways, yeah. So what exactly drove you into art? Like, did you always want to be an artist?
Yeah, I think my mom was a big influence. She did artwork too, and when I was young, we lived in Rhode Island, and my mom and dad actually painted too, and she took some classes at Rhode Island School of Design, and as a child, I took classes at Saturday morning children's classes at Rhode Island School of Design, and I got into doing drawings and also kind of liking to do nature-oriented things more. Actually, I was jealous of my sister's class because she did more things with animals, so I didn't get to do. And I've always loved being in nature. I went to camp up in New Hampshire, so that's a huge part of, you'll see, a huge part of what I do. I love being outside and being in nature. And,
but I don't see any animals at all. Or maybe
no,
some.
I didn't do animals. I don't do animals. And I haven't done much. I've done some portraits, but not for many years. I mostly just like doing the landscape. it's people free.
Right.
I mean, there's
Nature.
enough stuff going on in the big world that
Yeah, absolutely.
being out in nature to me is calming and inspiring too. Yeah.
So do you do commission work, or I mean?
I
Or
don't
is that-
typically, because of the way I work.
Mhm.
There are a lot of people in my building who do. They're considered plein air artists, and they do very site-specific things. It's not how I tend to work. I tend to at least start outside or start looking out a window. I've used photos for reference, and I'll draw a scene, but then I'll bring it back into the studio and make it work as a picture. I don't try and make an exact replica.
You don't do a plein air, or usually?
Well, I start out in plein air, but I don't do exact like you can recognize that gas pump or that hill.
Right.
I mean, I do with that generally speaking, and then I bring it back and make it work as a picture, not necessarily as a very site-specific piece.
Yeah, I understand. So in other words, like the pictures that you take, like, so for instance, if I just go into any one of these paintings, pastel paintings especially, have you taken these pictures outside in nature and then come back and then look at the picture and then start drawing, or?
Often with the pastels, I'll start the drawing in nature.
Okay,
Like
so
some
you
of them
actually
are
do it.
done on the beach. I'll start actually at the beach
Okay.
doing the drawing, and sometimes I'll finish them there, but more often I'll then bring it back to the studio and I'll work on them using photos as reference and my memory to finish the piece.
So then you don't do the exact, like, even
Right.
the photos, whatever it shows,
Right.
you can
Not
do it
exact.
a
Yeah.
combination
I change
of
it up.
different.
Yeah,
Okay, got it.
exactly.
Okay. And so the pastel itself, you've been doing like about 30 years, you said, right? Before
For a
that,
very long time.
For a very long
Yeah,
time. Okay.
I like to get my hands dirty.
Dirty,
That's why I
yeah.
like gardening too. It's the same feeling. I don't mind getting my hands in the thick
Well, it
of it.
would make your hands dirty too.
Yeah.
Pretty sure.
But I like getting in the thick of it.
Right,
I don't
right.
mind the shock. Some people are horrified by it because, I don't like to get dirty, but I do.
A lot of dust going on
Yeah,
around, right?
exactly.
in pastel. So what kind of pastels do you use?
Oh, I use an assortment, and there's so many now. I mean, I use Sennelier products, and I use their paper too. I'm pretty much stuck on this one paper by Sennelier. I've used new pastels, which are cheaper pastels, but I like using them for smaller pieces because they have hard edges on them. But I have an assortment of different pastels that I've used.
Okay. And what about as far as I see you use sandpaper, like you're showing me, right? So is that
Yes,
something that you
sandpaper again. I mean, I've used different kinds of paper, but I've been stuck on this one. It's called La Carte. Sennelier makes it, and it's called La Carte. It's a sanded paper that's specifically for pastels.
Okay, but doesn't it eat away a lot of pastels though?
I'm sorry?
It doesn't eat away a lot of pastels because if it's sandpaper, it's very rough
it
and close,
doesn't,
right?
because I also, when I draw, I tend not to do a lot of layering on that. I often will let because I'm working on different colored papers, I'll often let part of the background of the paper show through.
Sure.
So I'm not doing layer after layer. And this particular paper, I can't wet. So if it was a pastel paper that I could wet, then maybe I would do that and then layer it more. But with this one, I like letting the background color show through part of the piece too.
Right, and it has like a greenish tinge to it, isn't it?
They're
Like,
different. They come in
different
different colors.
Different colors. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
All different colors. Yeah.
Okay, and I'm struck by some of your clouds that you're doing. Like,
I'm a
it's-
cloud nut. I'm nuts about clouds.
Yeah. Do you know all about clouds? Like,
No, I know some about clouds, but I grew up on the East Coast in New England, and I was in upstate New York. It's just phenomenal, the weather and the clouds and the changes. And when I first moved to California, I've been here now quite a while. I was always looking for the weather and the clouds, and now I see a lot of that. But I like doing things that are transient, that are harder to do, that don't stick around, because to me that's more exciting than just a very stationary thing. And I love clouds, so you'll see them in a lot of what I do. Yeah.
So when you do the clouds, how do you do it? If you is it like, do you start with the dark and like blue first and then go on
No, it's
white?
funny,
It doesn't
people
matter?
ask me that. I don't know. I'm not conscious. It's one of the reasons I like doing it, because I'm not so
Conscious of
conscious
thinking.
about
Yeah, okay, got
you
it.
know what I put down first, and also because it's constantly changing.
True.
So
Sure.
I'll maybe put a bunch of white down and that's some gray, but then I'm changing it, or I'll smear it a little. It's just different. Yeah.
Yeah, so very few paintings I'm seeing that are of the indoors. Like almost everything is outdoors, and
Okay.
even the indoor scenes that I'm seeing around your studio has some of these like windows where you can peek out and
Yeah,
view
that's
the
true.
outdoors.
That's true.
That's
Yeah.
probably
Yeah.
what you are, right? So
Yeah.
okay. And what about the challenges you faced? I'm pretty sure you faced challenges along the way as any artist would. Do you face anything that's
Yes, I mean, things have changed a lot since I first started doing art. I didn't think about it so much as a profession originally. I didn't know really what I was going to do with it, and I've over the years been in a lot of shows and different galleries, and in the last while a lot of galleries have closed and the art world has changed incredibly, and so it's a challenge to find places to sell my art, or because I have a lot of work and I work a lot, so the art world's changed a lot, and the whole world's changed a lot.
Absolutely.
So yeah, so those are challenges of a different way, getting creative with different ways of selling my art, and letting more people know
how to
about
adapt to it? And
and letting more people know that I do it. Yeah.
So as far as selling goes, like, do you do mostly on you advertise? I know you have a really great
Yeah,
studio.
I have a big mailing list. I do open studios. There are county-wide open studios here, and then this building that has about 15 artists in it. We'll do our own open studios from time to time as well. I am in a couple of different spaces. I'm in a wonderful store called The Gardener in Berkeley, California. They have about 10 of my pieces, and I'm in a gallery on the East Coast, and just different places where I can, and different shows that I've entered and gotten into. And this year I got Artist of the Year at the county expo and fair. So I enter different shows.
Excellent. Okay.
Yeah.
So other than right now, so I still see you do oil, right? So do you is there any reason you're still continuing with oil since you're doing pastel, or sometimes you just feel like
Sometimes I just feel like doing
Okay.
paintings. It's interesting. I do it on and off, and when the pandemic started, for whatever reason, I started doing a series of oil paintings then, because I hadn't done them for a while. Now I haven't done them for a while again, so I think I might go back and try and do some paintings. But it's a very different animal for me to do paintings, because, as I said, I'd like to get my hands in things, and even using a brush is a little bit of a distance from, having your hands directly in the medium.
True.
Yeah.
I understand.
But obviously you can do totally different things with oil painting than you can with pastel, vice versa.
So the other problem with pastel that is very common is the preservation, right? Like you almost always need glass or some kind of sealant or something, right?
Yeah.
So how do you get around to do you put a coating on top, or?
No, with this particular paper that I use, I can't coat it. But so what happens is when I have it framed, and you'll see it on some of these, there's usually a spacer between the mat and the glass or plexiglass, so that the pastel's not right up against the glass or plexiglass. So there's a little bit of space between that, and I can't, because of this paper that I favor, I can't use a fixative on it. So it makes it more important that I have this depth or space between the piece itself and the glass. Yeah.
Got it. And then that's the reason that you can't, once you finish a piece, usually you'll have to probably frame it, right? You can't just keep it.
Yeah, I mean, I've matted pieces and sold pieces matted. I mean,
right.
And obviously I don't have glass or plexiglass on it, but I have, sold matted pieces as well. Yeah. But if I'm in shows, they have to be framed.
Yeah. And so, what as far as the your future goals go, do you anything that you would like to you're planning maybe in a couple of years where your art is going to be, or?
mean, I'm always looking for different places to put it. I have some art in the museum in San Francisco. They had bought some of my drawings a number of years ago. But I'm always looking for other places, other galleries, other museums. I mean, I do some of that for a while, and then I just don't do work on that, So it's just looking for different venues.
Sure,
what I do, yeah. And that's always changing because our world's always changing.
Absolutely, yeah. And then what about like the painting process itself? Like, you do sketch and that's how you start, or do you just start with the colors? I mean,
I don't have a specific way for drawing. I don't know. I mean, you could ask me that. I'm not so conscious of what I do first. Yeah.
So there's not always a sketch, right?
No, not necessarily. Yeah. I mean, sometimes what I'll do is I'll do a small drawing and then try and do a larger drawing based on the smaller drawing.
Right.
But other times I'll do a small drawing and then make a larger print of it, which doesn't always work on my pieces.
Right.
Especially if I tend to be small to begin with, blowing it up pixelates it or makes it less readable. But
and then what do you do with the smaller one? Like, do you keep the original?
I keep them. Yeah.
You keep
I
the
have
original.
the originals, the ones that make prints of. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it.
And the printing process, the G-clay printing process, is so much better, more advanced than it was when they first started out. So that sometimes it's hard to tell the difference between the original and the print. Yeah.
Yeah. The thing though is like, I mean, I guess if you touch it, like obviously,
yeah.
There's no like texture to it and things like that.
Well, you don't have to worry about keeping the glass away from the piece.
Right. Absolutely. And yeah, sometimes you're right. I mean, sometimes it's hard to tell.
It's hard to tell the difference. Because I've seen oil paintings printed on canvas that look like the real thing too, which is quite amazing.
Right, quite amazing.
The process has changed so much.
Yeah, absolutely. And how long have you been in the studio? Like in the studio here?
I keep saying the same thing. Probably 25 or 30.
Oh, in this studio?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you were doing pastel for like 30 years, but...
Well, I probably...
You were okay.
I'd have to think.
No, but still,
when did you really start doing this? Because probably longer ago than 30 years. But I've been in this space for at least 25 years. I don't know exactly how long.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Yeah. So in that sense, that's pretty, well maintained. And what kind of like is completely amazing is the number of pieces you have. Like, it's like the way
it is arranged. I've been here for so long that I figured out ways to do it. But this, it's kind of what's really cool is that this originally was a school, and then for many years it's been studio spaces. Different configurations. Some people have the whole space, some people have it split, like we have this half wall. So they're all a little bit different. And the fact that, and we rent from the town of San Anselmo, the city of San Anselmo. So the fact that we've had art studios here for so long is quite wonderful.
Mm-hmm, yeah. And then you have like open studios and everything, right? Like over here too.
We do open studios, yeah.
Got it. Okay. So I know you've done Superfine with us, right?
Yes.
One time, like over here in Fort Mason, or
yes, exactly.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah. So are you? Do you do those on your own also, or
no? I don't do them, and I know they tend to be quite expensive too.
Yeah,
Superfine, so I can't really afford those really expensive ones too. A long time ago, there used to be a Sausalito Art Festival, which I was part of for many years. They stopped doing that. Now I think it's online. Everything's online, right?
Right.
And I've tried different festivals. They don't always work out that well for me. It's really not my thing.
No, Teravarna though has now juried shows like where we are like instead of getting having you guys buy wall space, because I know it's not affordable.
Right.
Like to have really good artists and show their work, and if they're juried in, then
no, that's great because that's what I did with the San Francisco.
Yes.
Yeah, and I may do the LA thing. And I have to think about shipping expenses and all that too.
Yeah. Well, with pastel, it's not that bad. I mean, not with like canvases, but with glasses,
Yeah, but the weight of the, because you're typically with plexi rather than just shipping.
Absolutely.
So it gets a little bit. LA's not that far, but shipping's just gotten more expensive in general, as you know. Yeah.
And how long have you been with Teravarna? Like, and how did you know about us?
You know, I was trying to remember how I knew about it. Unless somehow maybe I saw one of those,
Okay.
the Superfine jury thing, but I don't remember how I first found out about it.
Okay.
And of course, I've been in touch ever since Superfine. So, I mean,
Right.
I've seen different. I've done that. I did recently entered the third nature show, and I got
sure. I mean,
some,
you're
and that.
nature
So
person,
sometimes I
yes.
enter different shows online
Okay.
with Teravarna.
And so, what do you think about Teravarna in the sense that how do you think we can improve, or what any other features that you're looking for that we can help you with? Because we're always trying to have artists.
I don't
Yeah.
know. I'd have to think about it. I mean, I don't know how San Francisco is for you, because it's great for me for you to be there, because it's easy for me. I can actually
Yeah.
bring the pieces over.
Right.
So I'd love
right.
to have you guys more local.
Yes, we're planning on 25 to be here in San Francisco Art Fair. I think Art Market. I think is what it is, right? Yeah.
Okay.
Next
Oh, the
year,
big
yeah.
one. And
The big one, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's also in Fort Mason, isn't it?
It is. It's a
Yeah.
different part of Fort Mason.
Okay.
So there's whole
Sure.
section that the piers like go all the way out, and there usually is an art fair with that. Where we were was a different part of Fort Mason.
Right.
It was not Fort Mason, but a whole other side to it. Yeah.
Okay. So that's one of the things that I mean definitely I would love to have you in that
Yeah.
case.
Yeah, I'd love to be part of it, because you guys are just great. I mean,
Okay.
everyone I've met from Teravarna or spoken to or communicate with us have been really great. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So that's we want to hear back from the artist. So that's
Yeah,
why
yeah.
I'm asking.
Well, it
If
makes
there
a
is any
huge difference.
criticism, just
Yeah.
let us know.
Oh,
We'll
sure.
try to we'll
Sure.
try to, So it was wonderful being here. And,
Now I'm glad.
finally, I'm
Yeah.
in the studio, in your studio.
Well, you're the one who
keep
did all the
saying,
work
yeah.
to get here, so
Yeah.
I just have to
Of
wait.
course, you let me in, so
Yeah.
I've been able to get in
Yeah.
without you. So thank you so much, Wendy. I really
Oh,
appreciate
thank
it.
you. Yeah.